one of the absolute best stories in music, in modern music. Like, it's insane. Like, it's not fair, but the fact that it's not fair makes us love it more now. Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, by my hot pink and black co-host, Alexander Volts. Say hello.
Hello.
This is Every Album Ever, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That's a new discography per episode, and today we'll be discussing every album by
Death, the punk band
from Detroit. Death from Detroit. We already did cover, if you're here for the death metal band Death, this is not it, but we did cover them episode 23, I think, like almost 2.5 years ago at this point.
And I've wanted to do this episode ever since.
And I've gotten requests to do this band like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
From friends of mine.
Oh, really? Like, from friends.
We'll get to it one day. And we're finally doing it now. I'm kind of angry at myself for not
putting it off.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. This is gonna be a great episode. This is such a crazy and amazing band to talk about.
Yeah,
holy fucking A. But before we do that, if you want to help us support us, like the video, share, comment, do all the things that appease the almighty, evil, all-consuming algorithm, because we need it. We need to be seen. We need to eat. Please, for the love of God. You could also find a Spotify playlist on Death in the description. We got playlists associated with all the episodes. Find them all at everyalbumever.com. And of course, patreon.com/everyalbumever. Please, we need help. And everybody who's joined, you guys are our angels and saints. There you get bonus episodes, super duper early access to the Loose Ends episodes, 20% off all merch. You get to vote on polls for who we cover next. You get to see our schedule in advance. And of course, tier 2, the bigger than Jesus tier, gets to request artists for us. First request goes on the list immediately. All other requests that you give us will go in our Patreon pool. So just by being subbed, your picks get picked. So do that, please, and thank you. Okay.
There it is.
Now, Death, the original Death. It's so funny because the things you learn, the things we learn doing this podcast, like the death metal, the Chuck Schuldiner Death, the death metal Death, that is my Death.
Yes.
That is one of my favorite bands ever. That has been one of my favorite bands since I was a teenager. I love that band. So whenever, like, when I started hearing about this Death, I'm like, okay, I'm sure like they predate them. They're really influential. Mm-hmm. Sure. But Chuck's Death is my Death. And from here on out, this is the real Death.
Oh, wow.
This is the real Death.
Oh, wow.
Like,
I
mean, the other Death is still one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah.
But what these motherfuckers went through, especially for the name Death.
Yes.
This is Death. Holy shit.
No, it's they're in that, like, I feel like it's been a while, but I feel like a while in like the early, or maybe like 2009, 2010, where like
early aughts or mid aughts,
where like labels were kind of discovering these like unsung bands that were just kind of like sitting around. And this is one of the bands where I'm like, it lives up to the hype
it does. It lives up to the hype, which is already mind-blowing, but it's also
because we all know how you feel about Rodriguez.
Fuck Rodriguez. That sack of shit. I mean, it's a great story if it were true. It's fucking not true. The motherfucker had success, but this is a little different. Did you watch the doc?
I did not get around to that.
I watched the doc last night, and it made me cry many times.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you got around to it.
It's called a band called Death, and it was put out in 2012. Holy shit, dude! That is a moving ass documentary. It was goddamn.
I totally forgot about the documentary until like in the wee hours last night. I was like, God damn it! Even though the documentary is why they were talking about them today, because that got
it was released before the documentary. The reissue by Jack City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So because they mention it in the documentary, how it was released and how they went on to it was put out after. Okay. It was filmed after everything. But I think it did really well. I like
Like,
I forgot what fucking festival it was that really pushed it. I want to find out in like 3 seconds. Right about
probably South by South, Los Angeles.
Yeah, LA Film Festival.
Oh, there is South.
Yeah, and South by Southwest. So watching this doc, completely fell in love with these guys. They are the fucking sweetest, most sincere, loving, happy, like religious, like just beautiful, nice, great guys.
Yeah.
And like they're so passionate and they fucking love each other so much because they're all brothers. And the things that they had each other's backs throughout the worst, horrible moments. They bring in like neighbors and like everything. It was so weird because like you see in docs where they go back to, where it happened kind of stuff. And they see like, see, this building used to be this and this is where we start. In Detroit, they're going to these places and it's still the same things that it's the exact same buildings. They're going into like, and this shelf right here is where it's like, the shelf is there. The fucking shelf from 40 years ago is still there.
We're skipping buildings. We're going to shelf.
Straight to shelf. But yeah, each of the members is like, I even love the other brother who wasn't even in the band. Mm-hmm. Like he's just like the really contagious laughs and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man. And then singer, Bobby Hackney's kids, all his kids are like super sweet and likable and they're all musicians too. And like,
well, I felt stupid because they're all musicians and then they started a band called Rough Francis.
Yeah.
Which I guess they've been around for a while, but I just found out about them like last year.
I just found out about them last night.
Yeah. All right.
Rough Francis, that was named after the guitarist David, original Death guitarist David's his last recording. It was a pseudonym, Rough Francis. And hearing about David, because like he died in 2000 before this
whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah. And it was haunting, like how much like this dude was not just the leader and the main dude, but he was like a really spiritual, out there kind of guy, really conceptual and abstract. And he would spit all these concepts. The name Death was like so important to him because.
I was gonna say, I read that like they did it after their dad died, and it was to like maybe not like make it so taboo.
Well, it was the way David described it was like to make death something beautiful. Like
there you go.
He would call life the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
This is everybody's waiting for their turn. And some people who died are moved on, and some people haven't. So that's how I guess he looked at death. So it was such an important thing to him, and just how much that name bit them in the ass for like a decade straight and ruined any chance that they had for success.
But they said we're gonna keep it no matter what.
It was David. It was all David. Like this dude is, and the way they talk about him is so reverent. I think it's the right word with revere. Whatever. Everybody like the way they talk about him, it's like, yeah, he sounds like he was crazy when we talked to you, but it was with so much respect that they had. And like, cause he was a great songwriter and he was really innovative, and he never ever compromised his vision and his plan, and it never worked out in his lifetime, but the son of a bitch predicted that it would happen.
Well, I think there is something like kind of, beautiful too about him viewing life as the waiting room, and then after he leaves the waiting room, that's when it's not immediately after,
and but like it all has this weird kind of, it could be a little woo woo, and it could be if you're super hyper logical like I am, I'm sure it's like, okay, it's all just a bunch of things that landed into place, but also it's still beautiful when you look at it as this sphere of events.
I don't think there's anything wrong with like thinking of like these serendipitous things. It's like, man, that's crazy how that worked out. That's all it is. This is crazy how it all worked out. And
exactly, that's what the drummer Dannis, what he was saying at one point. He's saying that because what happened was the last time they saw David. It's funny, like we even talk about the formation. We're talking about like we're talking about how these people are as people. It's fucking interesting. Y'all gotta watch that doc.
Yeah.
So saying that the last time that they saw him was at Dannis's wedding. He was like filming the whole thing, and at the right before he left, he went to Bobby and I think he gave him the masters for the first record, or like, because they only released 2 songs. It's a long story. We'll get into it more, but he gave him the original masters. He said, one day the world's gonna come looking for this, and I want to make sure, and I know you'll keep it safe. And the thing that struck me about that was Dannis said that he heard him saying that to Bobby. And then it cuts to Bobby saying almost verbatim, like, so they
so they're not lying.
The memory on these motherfuckers is amazing. Like they're naming exact dates, they're naming places, they're naming exact freight. Like it's this thing is like, they really thought about this. Like that was an important part of their lives, and it's really nice to see.
Yeah.
But Dannis was saying, and now to see everything that he predicted come true, it's just strange. Yeah. It's just strange.
Also, I mean, I guess you don't hear about the people who are like, one day I'm going to make it. And then they don't, like, you wouldn't be talking about.
You wouldn't. And guess how many people have said that? Way more have said that and have died with nothing.
Yes.
It's like, I always hate that when like you see it a lot of memes where they'll take an old quote from Prince or some shit. And it'll be some like really ambitious quote about how he's going to be a millionaire. And they'll add a caption saying, he knew. Like, no, they all think they know. Some of them are successful. Like, you don't fucking know shit in this life. You don't know anything. You're gonna die. That's all you know.
I think it was the Patton Oswalt joke where he's like, I always think it's like bullshit and like biopics. So like, and he just like made one up. Like, let's say they made a Beatles biopic, and they'll make like Paul McCartney buying a bass, this big. This big
moment,
thing, but then it's like, well, arguably, it was this big, thing. So,
but usually it's not in the moment.
No. It's
usually a very casual thing in the moment, or like that's one thing that fucking Dan Soder says a lot. Or it's this joke that he makes about biopics. I don't remember which movie he got it from. It might have been from like Straight Outta Compton or something, where it's like they have to have this one scene where they go like, that's it. That's the song.
Yeah.
Like, it's never happened. That's never fucking happened.
Yeah.
But goddamn this. Yeah. The doc is very moving, and like certain moments are like, oh God, I want to fucking cry, and did cry. We're like the son, Bobby Jr. really, where he was living in California. And one of his friends says, "Oh, you got to hear this record that like it's going around. It's like this early punk band, like it's crazy stuff." And he puts it on, and it's his fucking dad and his uncles, and he's like, "Oh my, that's my dad's voice."
Yeah,
and it's like that kind of moment. It's like, oh, I'm getting chills.
Yeah,
like for this whole like for you to never even know it existed. And then all of a sudden your friends are showing you this thing and it's your fucking dad.
That's probably a more cinematic moment in real life.
Exactly. And that's why he like, called his dad saying, where were the rest? Like, holy shit, what happened?
Yeah.
So but we already talked about the whole movie, and we didn't even talk about who they were or how they started.
Yeah. According to the wikis, their dad sat them down to watch the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show.
That's right. Yeah.
And then they pretty much had been playing since. And
they were they the way they put it, like the parents were very encouraging of they said like enjoy everything. Mm-hmm. Enjoy everything. So like music was one of those things where they just latched onto it. Oh yeah. So they got all kinds of crazy influences, but I think it was the Who, seeing the Who, and Alice Cooper that made David just like rock and roll. We're doing rock and roll.
Yeah,
and how they ended up just inventing punk in 1973 is wild.
Yeah,
which is, and it's also devastating because like it didn't get seen. Like some people heard the couple of the songs, but they just kept getting rejected because of the name.
Yeah. Which is funny because like these days it's like not even.
There's another wildly successful Death that also innovated an entire subgenre. Like the name Death has a power behind it. Like for a band name, I can't use it now though. It's done. But like the fact that two different death bands fucking created something entirely new in their respective field, that's interesting. So they started playing like in their bedroom. I think their mom won a settlement from a car crash or something. So they had a bunch of money and they just bought all the instruments.
Oh shit.
And the parents were super supportive. The neighbors hated them.
Of course, yeah.
Because it was a black neighborhood and they don't care too much for the rock and roll.
Yes.
So they were hated.
Not in the 70s.
Not in the 70s. It was Motown town.
Yeah.
And
especially Detroit.
Exactly.
Detroit, Michigan. Yeah, that's soul music.
Yeah, so they played for a long time, and then that leads us into the sessions that sessions that ultimately became the first record released 35 years after the fact. But altogether, as of now, they got 4 albums total. It's a little iffy. There two out of the 4 albums are a lot of demos and really unclear dates and places where they're recorded. But 4 albums total. First one came out 2009, although it was recorded in 1974 or 5. No, I think it was 5. Yeah, 1975. And the last album, 2015. So, are you ready?
I am ready.
Ooh, boy. Hell yeah. So this came out 2009. This is For the Whole World to See.
It's so crazy too, because like being a fan of like the MC5, and I think they predate MC5, right?
I think it's around the same time period, maybe a little after. Isn't MC5 early 70s?
Yeah, but just to like, there was something with the garage rock and.
They were way earlier.
Yeah,
60s.
But yeah, this is like something about that garage rock in Detroit. For 2 bands who I'm assuming didn't know each other.
Did not, no. Something about Detroit, man. Literally, I mean, we could say something in the water because there's literally a bunch of shit in the water.
Literally, yeah.
But Alice Cooper, wait, was it Detroit? Or I know it was in Michigan, but I don't know if it was Detroit.
There's Andrew WK.
Oh.
And then you don't like him, but I like me some Jack White.
That's true. Yeah. So this is a punk song. This is 75, but this is a punk song.
Yeah.
I think we get the idea. I think that's one of the songs that helped them get discovered a million fucking years later.
Yeah. So holds up.
Does. Best personal favorite,
Best
obviously.
Personal favorite.
Obviously.
It's a messy discography. This is the clear obvious.
It's obvious, but it's also 26 minutes
of just delight.
Perfect.
Yeah.
it's damn near perfect. I think the first half is a lot weaker than the second half because the second half is so goddamn good.
That's your jams.
Oh, dude. Not that the first half doesn't offer good shit on its own, but fucking. So that song is like, okay, it's punk before there was punk. That's really what it is. And then every song after that is way more complex, way deeper, way more aggressive, fast, fucking tight as shit. The fucking way they stop and start on a dime. They do a lot of pauses.
It's crazy because I don't think I know. The next 2 albums are demos, but like I don't think they ever sound as tight as they do.
They don't. They don't.
And that's not fair to say for demos, but
it's not
kind of like how strong these songs are.
Yeah, these were like the only studio recordings they had as a band up until 2015, which wouldn't even have Dave. Sorry, it was Dave now. I'm on my way. Yeah, got his name mixed up in my head for a second. Yeah, Dave.
A lot of D's.
A lot of D's. But fucking, I mean, might as well go through. There's only 7 songs in it because they were kicked out after recording the 7 songs. So
and then was it who said it? They said like Clive Davis funded the recording of these, but he backed out.
Well, it wasn't exactly that.
Okay.
So that was the final straw. So they went to. I forgot the name of the studio. Does it say
Columbia?
No, that's the record label. This is why Wikipedia fucking sucks. There's so much info about this and it's not on here.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the studio, but It was a big one in Detroit. If you lived in Detroit at the time, that was like the place you went to. They go there, they meet the engineers and like the people at like it was like I don't even know because the industry doesn't work this way anymore. So I don't even know what to call it. So you go to the studio and the guys there love them. And then they start shipping their, like their demos across to labels to try to get them signed. Because the guy was so jazzed about the music. And every single place said no because of the name. It was like they all liked the music.
Yeah.
It was entirely 100% because of the name. And it's like
so crazy.
It's so inoffensive to us now. It's so like the name Death. It's nothing. It's nothing to us.
Yeah.
It was a complete and utter deal breaker in the 70s across the board. And then finally it was Clive Davis of Columbia who said, I really like this. I can sell this, but I can't sell that name. And every member was like, he's offering us $20 fucking $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. David. Nope. And it was like not even a slight budge. It was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And then like the rest of the members were like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you fucking kidding?
Yeah.
What do you? And then like they all went like, he's my brother. All right. All right. What he says goes. And that's like that level of loyalty. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Cause it killed him. It not literally, but it killed the band. And so they had these 7 songs recorded, but after that, obviously they weren't going to record anymore. And I think, I don't know how they did it, but they convinced the owner or whatever, whoever the fuck, again, I'm getting mixed up. They convinced them to give them the masters, to keep the masters.
Yeah.
And that's also really surprising given the history Motown has.
Yes.
With completely screwing the artist.
Or how expensive like recording on this stuff was. And
and they let them keep the masters, which ultimately ended up being the best possible thing for them. So that's why there's only 7 songs. It makes me want more, obviously, but there's no really going wrong on here.
I think probably the most interesting song is Let the World Turn.
It's the most interesting, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah, but it's just like makes me think of like Funkadelics, Maggot Brain, but not really. More just like similar qualities. And then this turns into this like high energy.
Oh yeah, it goes wild. So here's the thing that they do as a band that I deeply, deeply do not like. And that is when they go mellow, they go so mellow it's tropical sounding. And they tend to use the exact same kinds of chords. It's usually like 2 chords back and forth. And here, I don't care because it's the first time I'm hearing it.
And it's the only
on this record for sure. But every record has at least one that does like the same exact chord, the same super mellow tropical thing, spacey and psychedelic. And I just don't don't care for it. The difference with Let the World Turn is that it goes fucking batshit in the middle. Completely batshit. Like
there's solos.
Oh yeah. Dude, and there's a full blown drum solo in there.
Yep.
A full goddamn Dannis can do it.
Yeah.
Homeboy's real good.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah, Your Prisoner.
Fuck yeah.
Is probably next.
Dude, that's too good. Like
it's just kind of like this in-between world of like garage rock and punk rock that they live in.
But it's so undeniably punk because of first of all, it's faster than anything at this time period. Anything.
Sure.
It's super fast. But when I think of garage rock, I don't think of really complicated song structures the way these are. And also for like example, on You're a Prisoner, the chorus. So this is why I love this fucking song so much. It's little subtleties that make up that you can miss on first listen. So the chorus, the song is another fast paced rocker, and then the chorus comes in and it fucking slows it down. It gets heavy and evil and driving. They do the chorus 3 times in the song, right? Every time they play the chorus, it's changed slightly.
Yeah.
Slightly. Like the notes are mostly the same, but they'll change one little they'll change the way it's like the rhythm of it, not the rhythm of it. They'll change maybe one note of it, or they'll change the way it's arranged. Like the drums will be slightly different. It's the same chorus, but it's just tweaked slightly every single time. And it's like, it's so unnecessary to do that if you're just a standard punk band or you're just playing garage rock. But the attention to detail with stuff like that that's why it's better.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I lost it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're doing this in the span of like 2 minutes and 30 seconds too.
These are short songs.
It's insane.
With the exception of Let the World Turn and Politicians in My Eyes, which are 6 minutes.
Yeah. To that level of detail for songs that are that short is
that is why
what makes them good. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I'm such a fucking punk fan. It's not what people imagine as punk. It's the bands that are fucking wild.
Yeah.
It's complex songwriting in ultra fast condensed form. It's like you're listening to a Mozart with like this, on like 2 times speed. It's great. You're getting all the same amount of complexity, but it's just over faster and it's very high speed. But
and then I think like Politicians in My Eyes is like kind of like the culmination of everything.
Yeah, for sure.
You've heard before it. First of all, that opening riff is this like interesting right off the bat.
Oh, yeah. The fucking bass is going wild.
Yeah. And then you think it's just going to be like a standard punk song, but they like venture into like psychedelic stuff. And I don't even want to call it prog rock, but like you said, it's like condensed prog rock.
It's sped up. It's smashed together. It's fantastic. And so back in 76, I believe, since they had the masters, they took Politicians in My Eyes and Keep on Knocking and released it as a single. And again, it did poorly because of the band name, and they wouldn't play it that often. It got some play every now and then, but there was only a pressing of 500, so it was doomed to obscurity.
Mm-hmm.
And
the reason this is like crazy to me, and I guess there's different standards for music and movies, but like Charles Bronson has a movie in the 70s called Death Wish.
Yep.
And no one cared.
But it's also a movie about murdering.
Yes.
So how many bands in the 70s were there was that kind of morbid imagery?
That's true. I even like Kiss, who is like they're literally in a Scooby-Doo cartoon now.
But also, like, you had Gene Simmons doing his wackety bullshit with the fire. Their name was Kiss.
Yeah,
it's the polar opposite.
You can market Kiss
exactly. With Death, all they do is and this is the thing they said in the doc a lot. A lot of the people, the execs that were around, they interviewed him. They said, when I first hear the name Death, I know that I don't want to hear it. That's all I know. Like, and that was the mentality across the board. It's insane.
Like,
I know.
My brain is like broken trying to think about how stupid that was just accepted.
Oh, it's insane. So what happens? So they released the 2 songs as a single. It went wherever unknown singles go. It goes nowhere pretty much, and some people have it and they lose it and it gets lost in archives.
Friends, family, probably.
Exactly. So fast forward all this time, and one person, I think it was a former bandmate of a later band of Bobby and Dannis Hackney. He had like a copy that he gave to like a record store owner who was a collector. Like, I have this thing. I didn't really pass it around the way I was supposed to. Hey, just check it out if you want. That guy was like, wait a minute, what is this? And then sells it on eBay for like $800. And then it just like spreads slowly like this. Wait, what is this? This all black punk band from the 70s? Wait, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then that eventually leads to fucking Drag City, and then they hear it and like, okay, well, we're putting this out, and that's why we have this.
Nice. Glad it happened. Freaking Out. Just a fun punk song.
It's so 70s punk. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, this gets stuck in your head, but
it's funny because like holy shit, were they ahead of the curve? Like, I mean, that is freaking out is a 70s punk. Like,
yeah,
everything about
down.
it. Like the vocals, he sounds like a fucking nerdy white guy. Like, it's so crazy. Like, this is exactly the same production style. That's the same exact effect on the vocals. It's wild.
My knee-jerk reaction to those vocals was to go, these are very HR like, but obviously
there were moments of him doing some HRness.
Yeah, before HR. And even on like the later releases, the more recent ones, like he's doing some wild HR kind of stuff, which I always appreciate. HR is literally one of my favorite singers of all time. But I mean, this is, if you have like a punk of any kind, it's short, sweet, it's over immediately. It's fucking amazing. You cannot go wrong with this album.
Oh yeah, and it took a long time to see the light of day. So do it a service and just give it a once over. All right, it deserves that.
Also, it's crazy seeing how much of this has been like licensed out for like movies.
Oh yeah,
and
it blew up, dude. When this came out, it blew up.
So I hope they're getting nice royalties.
That was the biggest takeaway from that doc, was like, I just want them all to be successful and okay and happy. That's all God damn, do they deserve it. They're such fucking beautiful souls. God damn. But yeah, both of our best and personal favorites, and you got to hear it. But there's a few more. A little bit of a loose end within a main episode type of thing. So this next one was recorded anywhere between 74 and 76. There's no real concrete data on specifically the songs, but it was released in 2011. This is Spiritual, Mental, Physical.
According to...
Wrong one.
Oh shit, my bad. All
good.
Too many knobs. Okay.
2, 1, 2, 3, now!
Like, this is a fun, like, funky side. I mean, it's still raw.
Yeah.
But, according to the little blurb written on Apple Music, this was they say it's recorded before the
other songs?
For the world to see.
Oh yeah, I imagine it does say 74, so I'm assuming. I hope it goes chronologically. That'll be easier for us. So that would make sense if this is before. This is very catchy.
Yeah, I like that this is a fun album, even though these are demos.
Yeah, these are very much demos.
But it's like, I don't care, and I don't know if that's because of like how awesome the first album is.
Ding. Worst, least favorite.
What?
Yeah, and I had to, because this is so rougher on the edges.
I thought about doing that, but
here's the thing. I enjoy all these records.
Yeah.
Way more than I thought I would.
Yes.
Like all of them. And this one is just so objectively rough. And there is some stuff that I just can't get behind. Namely, the last like 6 songs.
I like the 3. So I like they're like inconsequential,
and then they feel pointless. And like the last 2 tracks, I don't think needed to be released at all. Like I think we're okay not hearing Bobby just fucking around on bass and Dannis practicing drums.
Yeah,
which is what they are for fucking 3.5 minutes total.
Yeah, I didn't even watch. I would probably like this more after watching the documentary, because like you have that like connection where you're like, God damn, these are good dudes.
Yeah.
And like not to the extent you did, but like I got that from the first one. So like those last 3 tracks where they're all just like
fucking around
individually, I was just like, yeah, we're just friends hanging out and like,
yeah, brothers.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't, because like I like the songwriting. I could see like where these songs could have gone with production.
Yeah, I mean, especially the first 2, which I think
I get giving it.
They're great, but like they could have. Yeah, it would have been done a service to been recorded better. Obviously, it wasn't their choice, but
I get giving it work. I mean, because it is.
It's rough.
Yeah,
it's quite rough. Masks, which I do like. It's just I got to get you into my life by the Beatles in the verse.
Oh, that was so crazy because. Yeah, and then they speed it up and like do a punk thing.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
No, it's a good song. It's like I can't tell I mean I think they just it's like a partial cover. That's basically it's like a partial cover. Like they took that and then it's not hiding it. It's not like trying to pass off as their song. It's very much the Beatles song, just faster, and then they throw their own thing on it. It's interesting as fuck. And so this record's version of that tropical boring shit is the change.
I didn't mind it.
I didn't care for it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazier that I'm gonna wait to say it to the next album.
Okay.
Can you give me a thrill? I like there you get like some like snarly punk vocals
for sure.
there. Yeah,
for sure. It's very New York Doll style hard rock, faster, of course. I liked it, and then it kept going on for almost 6 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, it's a long song.
It's too long for what it is for me, and it just took me out of it.
And then I was like, oh, People Look Away. That's the most like garage rock thing on here.
That's why I didn't like it. Yeah,
and then
going why.
On here, I see it was a song by The Move, or similar to a song by The Move.
Oh, yeah.
Which would ELO.
The song Do Ya?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a Move song. I mean, obviously, it's a huge ELO hit.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was originated by The Move, which goes to show I didn't really listen to any Move albums except for the last one.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Storm Within, boy, like it's more of a really noisy, badly recorded rehearsal than a song. So that's what I mean. Like a lot of this is just like recording what was happening more so than actually recording songs.
Yeah. Yeah. This was not intended to be a proper album.
Very much so, because what was this? Yeah, this is also Drag City. They were basically, people were like, more death, please. They're like, we got these here demos. And that's not going to make a good album when you're like just trying to supply a demand, not necessarily you're creating. And so it's good that it's out and it's there for people to find, but it's got to be worse for me. It's got to be.
I get it from a technical standpoint because I've done that with other bands. I've done that.
Yeah,
like it sounds the worst, but
it's also easier for me because I do like all the albums. So yeah, it's like there's less there's not any hate in it for me. I didn't really suffer when listening to this record.
I didn't suffer on any of these. This was like one of the easier episodes we've done.
Oh, this is nothing. This is nothing. These records are so short. This is 28 minutes. This album is 28 minutes. The next one is the longest at like 38 or something, 35. Yeah. And it's nothing. And they're good songs. I mean, like these motherfuckers were really talented. Oh God, it makes you hate the world. You know? Fuck. But we're ready to move on?
Yes, sir.
So this was my worst least favorite, but it's worth a shot either way if you're a fan of these fellas. But anyway, this next one, again, more vagueness when it was recorded. It's more demos, but you'll hear the difference. This was recorded somewhere between 74 and 92. This was put out 2014. This is 3. Oh, you're leaving this one?
Yeah. It's so it's so
It's not really a song though.
What? Okay.
No, leave it. Actually, yeah, crank it. No, on your phone. There we go.
Cuz it's like so unique to what they
This is the opener.
Yeah. Because I thought it was going to be like a spoken word thing.
Right. It's not. But it is pretty much just this.
Yes. And What picks up?
Well, this track
part, yeah.
does this.
This, and then I can skip a minute.
How long is it?
We got like a minute
We're not
left.
doing that. So this is technically the opener, but that's not a good representation of the album at all. So the next track I think is a little bit more sungy. And there we go. Okay, you can load one on your phone.
Okay, yeah.
Very good. All of a sudden, also, this is some of the best production they've ever had.
It's crazy. Yeah, I thought this. I didn't realize this was demos at first. I thought it was just.
Goddamn those drums, dude. So snappy.
Freak out to find out she's only 13.
Yeah, this
This is a great song.
crazy song.
So here, you can lower it, but like I think one of the bigger distinctions from songs on this record compared to
The famous one, David's getting a little wild with his guitar work. He's doing way more soloing, way more crazy stuff.
Also, maybe I shouldn't have, but fuck it. I wrote it down. I think this is my Worsley's favorite.
I don't get it. It's so good. There's so many great songs on here.
To me, it was every song felt too similar. I still liked it because like they're not bad songwriter. For me, this was one of those like I really didn't know what I wanted to give Worsley's favorite. And like on second listen, I was just like, there's too many things that are similar.
How so? Give me some examples.
Like, okay, let me pull up my things. So like, we are only people.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's that in the same vein as the mellow.
Yeah, the tropical mellow stuff. I don't like that song.
Yeah,
it's also like 8 minutes. How long is it?
And then like you hit Free, and then Free, it's this more jammy stuff.
I like it. I get it though. It's solo guitar vocal. It's not too bad. It's short though, but I get it.
And then yeah, like First Snowfall in Detroit, more.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So that's what I thought when you said you didn't like it. I was like, oh, we're gonna have the same. We're gonna have the same
right
picks. But
the only reason I excuse it here is because
this sounds good.
Well, it's I don't like those two songs, but the rest of it is there's just too many good songs, I think.
Okay.
So We Are Only People. It does that tropical minimal thing that I don't like for 4 minutes, which is a lot. And then all of a sudden the song kicks in and I love it.
Yeah.
But it's just not enough to save it for me because it's like it takes 4 minutes for me to start liking it. And that's like what so like even though I don't like the song, there's still parts of it I do like. So I was like, okay. And then First Snowfall in Detroit, it doesn't work for me, but it is nice and gentle enough. And it is a longer album, and that's being pretty generous with that term. So it's nice to have something that brings down the energy later in the album like that, just from a pacing standpoint. But everything else is not just retreading the insanity of like the first record or some of the demos from the last one, because you get shit like Yes He's Coming, which is basically an R&B song.
Dude, that song,
it's beautiful.
When they get, I don't know, I probably should have like given it another listen, but you could take it as like a religious thing, or you could take it as like a tongue in cheek.
I would imagine that it is a religious thing, considering these guys.
Dude, yeah. Like towards the end when he says like lightning or a creature in the night, and like the way his vocals go up, not like octaves, but like more screamy. That made me laugh. That's a fun song.
Also Restlessness, real strong. Love that song. Fucking really, really dig that. And what was it? The closer, We're Gonna Make It, it kind of reminds me of some of the early Thin Lizzy ballads.
I wrote that too.
Yeah.
It's like someone like Thin Lizzy and then like the psychedelic aspects of the Beatles and like mash the two together.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's like makes you think of like, man, what would they have like sounded like if they like continued as a band? And
I know, like that song is really pretty, and it's even sadder in the context of the doc. Where they put it on, it's like, oh, you're having the widow read the lyrics. Oh shit.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Man.
But honestly, we're being real here because we keep it real here. All right?
Yeah.
Those vocal harmonies are awful. They're so pitchy. Like when they hit, they're nice, but like they're not the greatest singers. They're amazing at everything else, but they're not the greatest singers. It's still a good song. I like it as a closer a lot. I mean, it's rough in a lot of areas, but there's just a lot of good stuff here. Like, and even despite their obscurity, you hear this and like, oh, they were evolving. It's still, it's damn. So sad. So sad. So around this time period or afterward or whatever, I think, they had moved after they broke up, after like they ended Death, like in 1977, they moved to, I forget which part of New England, but somewhere up there. And, they were trying to continue Death for like a little bit. And then they got the cops like stopping them because they were putting up flyers with the name Death. And the cops were like, we don't like gangs in our town. They're like, oh, it's music. Like, you ain't gonna get anywhere very far with that name. Like even the cops are like, Death, really? That's the name you're gonna go with? So
like the cops harassing black people in New England? Get out of here.
Listen,
Get out of here.
I've tolerated a lot of slander in my day with the good people of New England. But like, I think David was finally like fed up, and he's like, okay, we're doing something now. We're doing something different now. We're going to do something new. Death is no more. We're going to be the fourth movement. We're the fourth movement. And then everyone was like, thank Christ.
Yeah.
Like, finally, we can start to get some success. So they changed the name of the fourth movement. They started writing different music. They released 2 albums, and it was heavily religious. They're all religious guys, but finally they were like, listen, man,
there's money in that
love.
Gospel music.
That's not why, but they're just heavily spiritual. Like, let's just give it up. All right, let's just give it up. Let's just do this because this is what we love. And across the board was like, oh, this music's great. I don't know about that Jesus shit though, and that devastated them.
They can't win. They can't win.
Exactly. So I think that broke David. He's like, fuck this. I'm going back to Detroit. Fuck this. Like, I can't. I'm done with this. Whatever. And I think Bobby had a wife and a newborn baby, and he's like, I can't. I'm not gonna leave now. I got my family here.
Yeah.
So David left on his own. Kind of put a little bit of a divide between the brothers. They're still very close, but like, that was a big moment. And
we haven't. How crazy is it that they're actually like real brothers? We just did the Walker brothers.
Yeah. Fucking phonies. Not even a real Walker amongst them.
Not one. And these guys didn't even try to cash in on that gimmick.
Well, they're too busy being shunned because they were black guys playing punk.
Yeah.
They're too busy to be
playing like rock music.
Yeah. Like that was already enough for like everyone to be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Not to mention the name, but so David moves back to Detroit, and Bobby and Dannis start a fucking reggae band and get successful. They're called Lamb's Bread.
Okay.
And I hate them. I hate reggae. Of course you do. Yeah. And it's just reggae. And it's good for people that like that. It's very reggae. I'm sure that you won't be disappointed if you like that. And I think that was more like that's the only thing that they're like his kids saw. Like they thought he was in a reggae band. That's what they knew. They had no idea that they had these very, very aggressive roots. But yeah, so everything we talked about, Drag City puts out the records, they go on tour, they become pretty successful with that. And now they finally go back to the studio to record new material. They got, they recruited Bobby Duncan, who was in Lamb's Bread. He was the guitarist for that band.
Okay.
And
you got 2 Bobbies.
Got 2 Bobbies now. One spelled with a Y, one spelled with an I-E.
We got a little Tony situation going on.
Sure do. So I'm talking a lot, but I want to give a little bit of exposition.
Sure, no, there's a lot of time passed.
Oh yeah, a lot of time. So what happened was when they got the call to like, hey, you guys want to play a show? You guys haven't played in many years, and I know one of you is dead. Would you like to play a show? And it was like mostly the Bobby Jr., Bobby's son, who was like Joey Ramone's brother, whose name I forget. Mickey Lee, I believe his name. He wants to play Joey Ramone's annual birthday thing. Fucking, huh? Yeah. You want to get the band back together?
Yeah.
He's like, uh-oh. So he recruits Bobby Duncan. And then the guy says, I'll try my best. So they go, he learns the songs. They go for their first rehearsal. They start out with Keep On Knocking. And as the story goes, they started up, because it starts out with a guitar, the solo guitar part. And then they start playing, and then they just stop. They stop like at the beginning of the song. And Bobby's like, oh shit, I fucked up. I'm sorry. And then Bobby and Dannis are crying.
Wow.
Because like he played it just like David.
Yeah.
And they had to like leave the room. They're like,
wow.
Oh boy. Oh, okay.
The feels are, yeah.
Made me cry again. That part made me cry again. So they go back and they tour, do all that. And then now they go in the studio to record all new material. So this is that. This was released in 2015. This is N.E.W.
It's crazy how that's like opens with like a metal riff, and I was like,
I was not expecting this to be such a good opener. I really dig this song.
I'm a little more sympathetic to reunion albums than you are, but I think this is one of the better.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
This is a good album.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like exactly what you want.
Yeah. Not to mention, these are good riffs, which it sounds like a simple thing. It's not. Like, I was expecting good production, tight performances, boring riffs. It's not. It's solid.
Yeah, the passion is still there.
Yeah. I was fully ready to give this a worst, but
Yeah.
Nope. This is a good album.
Yeah. This album made my worst least favorite more difficult, because
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not this.
No
Even
way.
though I do think Playtime's
rough.
one of the worst songs, but overall the record is just
Playtime should have 100% been cut. It's so funny because it sounds so much like The Times, which is the song right before it, which I like. And it's like, you don't put a song that's similar right after. That's insane. But it's also like a minute long.
so you can't really
It's hard to complain about it, but like it's still like but it just throws a wrench in the pacing. But what's the fucking mellow tropical song on this album? Because is it At the Station? No, it's
kind of. Also, I didn't know like that whole like philosophy they had.
Yeah.
And so knowing that makes At the Station even cooler.
Explain.
Because I think that's what they're talking about, like being on this earth and waiting to move on. So like having that preference to it makes that song a little more neat.
Yeah.
It still works without it, but like knowing the band's history and philosophy.
It is quite nice. I don't love the song so much. It does have some edginess to it. And I also don't care for Change as the closer. I think it's it's not the worst thing. Again, I don't think it's a great closer, but pretty much everything else. Like, again, Look at Your Life brings back a lot of the complexity and tight arrangements of the first record. A lot of the fucking long pauses in between riffs. That's kind of like almost their signature, is like a lot of frequent pauses or full stops, and it adds to the overall tightness of it.
The most interesting and maybe the best song on here to me is You Are What You Think. Like,
You Are What You Think is the most metal thing they've ever done, for sure.
I thought of like math rock things, and I'm just like, guys, you don't have to be doing this in your old age, but I'm so glad you are.
So glad.
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it a lot. It's so bitter. And it's fucking mad complex. Like, I mean, it's so impressive that these, again, when you see a reunion album after this many years, released in 2015, of dudes playing a similar style of music from the 70s. You're expecting pretty by the numbers. It's going to be aggressive, but it's not going to be wild. Like this is still fucking crazy. Like,
I also wonder like how much it is to like having Rough Francis around and like we can't let our kids show us up. We gotta hang.
I know.
Yeah.
Another moment that almost made me cry. A lot of moments like that was when because as soon as the record came out, the son was like, well, you guys can't tour, so why don't we tour playing your song? So it was him and his brothers, because they're all amazing musicians.
Yeah.
Like really fucking good, which is hilarious. And a few other band members. So it shows them like playing the songs live, and then of course they're nailing it. And then they showed, I think it might have been during the filming of the doc, because the quality was really good. It was the first time Bobby Sr. and Dannis saw Rough Francis playing the Death songs, and it was like showing them like super jazzed and crying, and like it's like watching your kids perform your music from the fucking 70s, like
in front of like a crowd that's
massive crowd
that they never had. That sounds like a beautiful moment. I totally get why you cried,
dude. It's so good.
Yeah,
so good. Oh, I hope it's a true doc. I hope it's not like fucking Rodriguez.
Yeah.
God damn it. But what else? Fucking Who Am I is great. Resurrection is great. Love the progressions on that one.
I will say there are like moments in You Are What You Think and Story of the World where I'm like, maybe there shouldn't be singing in certain parts because it feels
vocals are still the weakest aspect for sure. In the intro to Story of the World is a full acoustic thing, which I was like, here we go, and then it kicks in. It kicks in and gets good. Yeah, it's still great. All the production on that song is, I think it's the worst produced song on the album. It's odd because the vocals are just kind of sitting on top of everything. Mm-hmm. They're mixed very unusually. I don't care for that, but other than that, it's still a good song. And again, it's over immediately. It's fucking half hour long.
Yeah, it's just a really enjoyable discography. That's even the demos and stuff. Yeah, I think people should, like, if you like that first album, check out the rest.
And if you don't like the first album, there's something wrong with you. Like, and also to go back to this album for a second, it's so fucking endearing in the end. Like, even before watching the doc, like hearing that these old motherfuckers are still doing it.
Yeah.
And it's still interesting and it's still good. After everything that he fucking went through, it's like, oh, I'm so happy for them.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
I'm glad they got a nice storybook ending.
Yeah.
I mean, arguably they could keep going.
They could keep going. I hope they keep going.
But if they don't,
that's fine. That's fine too. Like, I think they've done enough. They left their mark.
Yes.
Yeah. Like one of the absolute best stories in music, in modern music. Like, it's insane. Like, it's not fair, but the fact that it's not fair makes us love it more now.
I need to watch that doc.
Yeah. I have so much trouble watching movies because, like, I like doing things alone. I like watching movies alone. I like doing this. But, like, at the end of a movie, especially docs, at the end of a doc, watching it alone, I feel so empty and sad. Like, it's over. What else is there?
Oh boy,
man. But yeah, that's good stuff. Let's do a little quick recap.
Best personal favorite for the world to see. Absolutely one of the
for the whole world to see. For the whole world.
Oh, for the whole world to see. Worst, least favorite, 3. Some good stuff on there, but overall just too samey. Still give it a listen because sometimes we do stupid things like pick worst, least favorite, and
that's just how we do it.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. For me, same. For the whole world to see, obviously, you got it. You just got it. It's 26 fucking minutes. Just try it. And worst, least favorite, spiritual, mental, physical. It is mostly demos, and a lot of it's rough. That's pretty much the end of that. But goddamn, it was delightful. It was a nice little fun one. I can't really call this a short episode because it's still 4 records, but compared to the 12 albums and 8 albums and 9 albums that we usually do,
Yeah, are we this coming off?
How was that?
Oh, are we this coming off? I'm all mixed. We're this coming off.
Oh, you're coming off of ecstasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's quite the downer, you know, no, not literally, but
We got to pick you guys back up with death and
yep. Goddamn. But
give ourselves something digestible, give you guys something.
But next week we got another big one. We got another, and this
I'm excited for that one, man.
I am too, even though I'm very much afraid. This one has been, people have wanted this one for a while, so be ready for that one.
I've been like preparing myself for that one for like a year.
I've been dreading it. Yeah. God damn it. I hope I like them. But there's a chance I won't. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening, watching, and hanging out and supporting. Please do all the liking and commenting and sharing if you enjoyed this. Or if you're a fucking cocksucker, it's okay. It just, you know what you are, all right? Don't you fucking Spotify playlist.
And you are what you think.
You are what you think. The Spotify playlist on Death, you can find a link in the description, as well as playlists associated with all the episodes. Do that if you would like. Patreon.com/every album ever, where we really need your help because we like to eat and live. And boy, is that getting tough in this day and age. Please help us. There you get bonus episodes, early access to all the Loose Ends episodes. They are piling up. The Loose Ends episodes are piling up there. And I'm going to see, now it's become a personal challenge. Like, how many Loose Ends episodes can we pile up on the Patreon before releasing any of them on the main feed?
We're doing pretty good so far.
Because we only release them when we need time, like when we're running out of time and we need like a spacer. We haven't needed time yet. So we're going to keep piling them up. And they're going to be there for a while. So go there if you want to see those. Of course, 20% off all merch. You get to vote on polls for the next episodes that you want us to see us do. See your upcoming schedule, stuff like that. And lastly, tier 2, request artists for us. If you would like to do that, there is where you get to do it. Please do so. Thank you. Finally, follow me on all social media at PanderMonkey and follow Alex on Instagram
at Mother Puncture.
Okay. We are at the end now.
Politics. Yes.
In my
Okay.
eyes.
Yeah.
There's no way we're not ending with politics in my eyes.
I'm so glad we just like.
It's the perfect. You got it. Hell yeah. So thank you all so much for listening and watching. See ya.